Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, we're getting into some cooler weather, and this is the time of year that you start thinking about harvesting some of these winter squash or winter type crops that we have, including pumpkins and things like Hubbard squash, butternut squash, those sorts of squashes, all of those winter type squashes. You want to wait until those fruit are mature before you pick them. So there's a few things to look for to determine whether or not they're ready to pick. One is just the color. Obviously with pumpkins, a lot of times they'll turn orange, so you want to make sure that that's a bright orange, not kind of an in-between stage between green and orange, because that means that's not quite ripe. Now there are other varieties out there, the white pumpkins, green gourds and things like that. You just want to make sure you're aware of what that final fruit is supposed to look like before you harvest. Another thing is the stems hopefully will have lost all juiciness. So, are they stems starting to dry down? Are they real green still? Make sure you check that out before you go and pick things too early. The best test, I think, and the easiest one, is to just find out if that rind is really hard. And the easiest way to do that is to take your thumbnail and just kind of try and push your thumbnail into that rind. If the rind is ready, you will not be able to stick your thumbnail into that skin. If it's immature, your thumbnail just sinks into it and you leave a little wound there. So you want to make sure that that rind on those squash or pumpkins or gourds or whatever type of winter squash you're growing is really tough. Which is the exact opposite of your summer squash. Summer squash like zucchini, yellow crookneck, those sorts of things you want to pick when they're very immature, not mature. So complete opposite, winter squash, pick when they're mature, the rinds are hard, the stems are starting to dry down, and the color is the nice bright orange or white or whatever color that mature fruit is supposed to be. Now this is also the time of year that squash bugs, which I mentioned earlier in the season, are in their second generation, so still be on the lookout for those sorts of pests. The second generation a lot of times tends to be pretty devastating. You'll see tons and tons of little insects crawling around on your plants and on your fruit. Make sure that you get those under control if you don't want further damage to occur. If you pick pumpkins a little bit immature, a lot of times what will happen, those stems will start weeping. They just won't last as long in storage. So you really want to make sure for best storage, or to make sure we have pumpkins ready to go for Halloween and Thanksgiving, wait until those pumpkins, squash, and gourds are fully mature before you go ahead and pick. If you have questions about your garden or pumpkins, winter squash, things like that, contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.